month is now August. September, that is usually the time when Apple likes to debut. Yeah, a lot of Apple products like the iPhone, possibly AirPods, and of course, what I like to cover the most on this channel, the Apple Watch. And the Apple Watch Series 7, of course, always gets released during September, and we're gonna go ahead and see the next generation Series 7 Apple Watch. And so in today's video, now that we are literally about a month away, let's go ahead and summarize all the leaks and everything that we know so far about the next generation Apple Watch. So if you're in the market for an Apple Watch, it probably is best to hold off just for one more month if you can. Because worst case scenario, we may not see anything impressive getting released for the Series 7 compared to what's currently available on the Series 6. So if you wait a little bit longer, you may receive a hefty discount on a brand new Series 6 that you can still find on shelf retail stores. So let's quickly go ahead and recap what we saw last year. Last year, we were shocked that the Series 3 is still available to be purchased, even currently, for a low price of $199. And then last year, we also got the newly added Apple Watch SE that got added to the Apple Watch family, and that has a starting price of $279. And still currently, I still think the SE is the best value Apple Watch currently, because basically under the hood, it still is a Series 5, just without the LTPO hardware always on display. And then the Series 6 got released with a new blood oxygen sensor and two cool color choices to choose from for the aluminum body, which was a new red, and my personal favorite, the midnight blue. And it still has a starting price of $399. And so, following Apple's track record, the Series 7 is going to cost to start at the same exact price of $399. Now the Series 3, shockingly, still support, and it will be compatible for the upcoming watchOS 8. Just however, important to note that's not really talked about as much is that it does not support for family setup, which is a new Apple Watch feature that allows you to track and monitor your kid even while they're at school, and limit their Apple Watch so that their device is only focused for school stuff like looking at the time and making sure they have easy access to contact you in case of an emergency, and of course being able to look at the time. That's why I still say that the SE is the better value if you're debating between the Series 3 and the SE. And so what might possibly happen once the newly redesigned Series 7 Apple Watch gets released, the Series 5 and 6 may become discontinued, possibly the Series 3, and the SE is going to replace either the Series 5 or the Series 3, which is why for $8 more, the SE will be the better value if you're debating between the Series 3 and the SE. But I'm gonna stop bashing on the Series 3 now. So obviously, with the release of the Series 7, it's gonna be replacing the Series 6. The Series 7 is leaked to be fully redesigned, as Apple usually redesigns its Apple Watch every 4th generation. And the Series 7 is set to be much thinner than ever before. I'm sure we already seen this. I already covered this new body redesign on the channel multiple times, but it said to have a much larger screen, and possibly, according to Jon Prosser, he leaked this out. He said this from his inside source a long time ago, that we should be expecting to see a new green color choice for the aluminum body Apple Watch. Now the thinner bezel was reported by Bloomberg that it won't not only be a very thin body design, but the screen gap ratio is going to be much more improved, as it's going to have much thinner bezels, which makes sense because the iPad Pro, the iPad Air, the current generation Apple Watch, the current generation iPhones, and heck, even the latest generation iMacs are all sharing this new sharp edge design. So definitely does seem plausible that we're gonna go ahead and finally see this new design get implemented for the next generation Series 7 Apple Watch. Now in terms of internal hardware, it's no surprise that Apple has been constantly focusing on making the Apple Watch the ultimate health tracker available in the market. And that it is. It was the first smartwatch that had a reliable heart rate sensor, and then ECG, and then previously for the Series 6, blood oxygen, and rumor has it for the Series 7, it's gonna have sugar blood cell monitoring. In other words, glucose. Because there was a Korean report in the very early years of 2021, January, reporting that both Samsung and Apple, ironically, were working on a way to monitor blood sugar levels. Then Bloomberg later on stepped in and also said these very similar things. Just however, Bloomberg reported confirming that Apple was indeed working on something like this, but it's very likely it's gonna happen next year. So unfortunately, there's no confirmation that the Series 7 is gonna receive this, but it is in the works. So it's really just a 50-50 chance of a possibility that this could happen. And then later on this year, New York Times got in and reported that Apple was indeed working on this, but this technology to be fitted inside a small device like an Apple Watch may be still several years off before something like that could happen, unfortunately. Which sucks. I was really looking forward to this. Now, the likelihood of 5G to be compatible for the Series 7 is still a hit or miss as well, because I haven't yet seen any like big articles with trustworthy inside leaks. So even though we're a month away from seeing the next generation Series 7 Apple Watch, it still is very hard to see what leaks are actually accurate, because that was just 95 Mac. Now, if we go to Mac rumors, they also agree that the glucose sensor, the blood sugar monitoring system, that Apple was working on, may not possibly happen, but in return, what we may expect to see is the continuation of the blood oxygen sensor from the Series 6 on the Series 7 as well. But to make up for that, we may finally see an increased battery life. Finally, that should possibly make the Apple Watch last longer than 18 hours, or what they like to call it, all-day battery, to become a day and a half. Hopefully. And then of course, we should be able to see a new improved processor inside that should be slightly faster or more compared to the chipset found inside the Series 6 Apple Watch. But of course, that's just obvious that we're gonna go ahead and see this. It's no different than what we expect to see them do on the iPhone. So in reality, yes, we will see a new redesigned body for the Series 7 Apple Watch. Question mark if Apple may do the same thing with the Apple Watch SE. Maybe they could just redesign the body but keep the internal hardware. That's just me speculating. So I'm doubting that last one's gonna come true. And hopefully we're gonna see an increased battery life, as well as a newly improved S7 chipset that should be found inside the Series 7 Apple Watch. So with that being said, if you are in the market of an Apple Watch, I would advise just to hold off a little bit longer, because if we really all we really get is a newly redesigned body, the Series 6 may be a better value, especially when you can find it at a hefty discount. That's what typically happens whenever a new generation comes out. The older model just gets slightly discounted, making it a better value in my opinion. Anyway guys, that is just the general truth and the things that we should be expecting to see when the Series 7 gets released. Of course, we are a month away, so if you could wait, I would highly recommend to do so. But if you can't, you really can't go wrong with either the Series 6 or the SE. And if you want to see that video comparison, I actually went ahead and do that in that video where I go in depth and compare every single aspect of things you could do between those two Apple Watches, so you get a realistic general idea of the pros and cons between each of them. And then that video over there, that's just a video YouTube's recommending specifically for you. Thanks so much for watching, take care, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.